Hey, how's it going? I'm Dan Fredenberg, and this is for Improve at Chess reviews on chesswithinvestors.com. I'm here with Cheat Code. How you doing, Cheat Code?
I'm good.
Okay, but this game is really, really terrible that we're going to share with you, and hopefully it'll give you some ideas on what was going through our heads. And make sure you do hit subscribe. This is a blitz game, so we only have 3 minutes, and it shows, especially for my performance, even though it was up a fair bit. I start out with NF3, then end up basically stopping any ideas of this pawn or this pawn coming out, because I could take back. He brings his knight out to stop me, put further support from putting out e4 like this. I bring my bishop out, which is a book move. He ends up deciding that, okay, this is a decent outpost. I'm going to have difficulty pushing this out, so because like you can't do that with your queen or anything like that. And I end up saying, okay, I challenge that, because even though I'm risking the fact that if he takes, I have to ruin my pawn structure on my queen side. He moves this out, even though the computer wants him to take this knight. It says that's kind of a bad move, because I could take with the pawn, the bishop, or the knight, and it says that I should have taken with the knight, but I was a lowly 732. I just hit 1,000 on Blitz just this last weekend, so I'm much better now. But anyway, so that gets taken. He decides I'm going to pin this knight to this king, so now this knight can't be moved. And I say, okay, I'll kick you out that way. It says I should have collected this free pawn over here, which is a better move for sure. And here he says he should have just bit the bullet and taken the knight. And I say, well, I'm ignoring that. Instead, I'm going to defend this pawn that's not even being attacked. It's terrible. He decides I'm going to attack this bishop that way, even though it says that's the better way to attack the bishop. This one here, that's a blunder, because he can collect this knight for free. So don't do what I did. I like to include these games that have a bunch of my own mistakes, just because I don't want to pretend that I never make mistakes. But anyway, so he ends up saying I want to keep my bishop though, and he still doesn't have a chance to take it, because it's now my turn. I put him in check, which is a pretty useless check. I move this bishop over here, which is trash. I should have just allowed him to take my my bishop and taken his knight instead. Instead, he says, I want that dark squared bishop, and that's what he took. So then I end up taking the pawn back, which is a terrible move, because I'm focusing on a 1 point of material piece instead of taking the 3 points of material piece. And he just decides to ignore everything and move his queen out there and kill Cheat Code on the spot. He just died. R.I.P. Cheat Code. Anyway, so I end up taking this knight. It says that's a bad move, because one thing that they'll teach you in chess puzzles is you want to do this pattern here where your queen goes here, he ends up blocking, you take with your knight, he takes back, and you get to eat this rook right there. That's a tactic that they shove down your throat in the chess puzzles, but apparently I didn't take my lesson seriously at that point. Anyway, so he takes my knight basically for free. Best move. I take back, even though it's just another 1 point back here. Right now we are even in material. This is a blunder. The computer hates this move, because he thinks that this is a much better move. I think it stops that that knight over here move to collect this this rook. But I take back instead, and there's a bishop. The bishop's free to go over here and put me in check, and even the only blocking move, that's no good, because it would have no cover, meaning that I can no longer castle. So I move over there. The computer prefers that I moved over here. This one right here, okay, it's yeah, I guess I don't know why I drew this. We recorded this a second ago, and then we found out we weren't recording. So there were other arrows there, so just ignore those other arrows. Anyway, he moves his queen over here to threaten this bishop right there. But it says moving the knight over there to displace this knight would be a better move. I end up moving my queen up here to defend that bishop that is being threatened. This is just kind of a trash move, because he can't really take that, but I think he's trying to aim at this pawn right here.
But there's a bishop.
Yeah, even though there's a bishop, which is just, so it's just a bad move. So I move my queen over here, for check, and the reason why that's a great move according to the computer is because he can block with his knight or his bishop, but I have the extra attacker on that square, which is what I use to take. However, it's suggesting that I collect this pawn right here because this rook has nowhere to go. He takes back with the knight, which basically makes it so taking this pawn is nowhere near as good. But of course, he now has a move where his rook can move over here supported by the knight. So unlike a moment ago where I could have taken it, and then if he moved his knight out of the way, I'd be able to collect this rook as well. So he moves to that better square, even though the computer wanted the rook to go all the way over here. This is a free pawn. And I threaten this bishop right here, which he smartly gets out of the way, and he can now attack that. However, I think like the computer's saying to bring this rook over here was the best move, which is kind of weird for me because like that makes sense to attack this pawn, but this bishop is covering it right there. Maybe he's expecting me to go check, and or he's expecting him to go check and then take the bishop, and then that way the rook would have access to this pawn, but whatever. So right here he says that I should have moved my rook out of the way, which makes a lot of sense. Instead, I decide to pin this knight to the king, saying I don't care about my rook because it's stuck on the back row anyway, and I can end up taking this knight with my queen and cause all sorts of problems. So a little bit too late, he brings the queen down here, putting the king in check. I block with a pawn, which the computer hates and cheat code doesn't like either. If I did go over here, then I'd be able to threaten this bishop, but he ends up taking this pawn, making this attack that's really, really scary over here. I'm dodging like crazy. That was a terrible move. He's just trying to collect free material. I guess maybe he's trying to hit here next, but I put him in check. Yeah, I should have done that with a queen instead. And he moves out of the way. I would have done a discovered check. There's nothing really cool to attack, though, with this discovered attack. So the idea is you just move this bishop out of the way, and then because this queen's here, then you get a free move, basically. But instead, I decide to do this, trying to pin the queen to the king. Of course, the problem that the computer has with that is he could take with the bishop, but then I can take back, but I can't take back, so it's just a trash move. So he ends up putting me in check again, and then it's a free rook because this pawn can go ahead and take it, which is not what I do. I move over here, which it's not a losing move, but it's pretty close to losing. Yeah, it's tough to find good stuff, but I think that's probably the best move for him. But he does the right move of taking that pawn. I move over here, which is forced. It's the only legal move. He blunders. Yeah, because now this queen is attacking right here, and that's check, which I found. He moves over there, and that's mate. So that's what that's all about. So there were some moves that were actually okay in there, but as a whole, it was kind of trash, which is unsurprising at this level. Ending up 14 points of material. My opponent was down to his last 20 seconds, though, so that's kind of tough. But that's all we got. Hopefully you can hit subscribe to watch more of these episodes. I'm hoping that you can appear on chesswithinvestors.com. If you want to connect on LinkedIn, that's the best way to do it. Of course, I'm a real estate guy. We talk about investments or whatever you're up to, but that's all I got. So I got to say bye, and how about you?
We did record, right?
Yes, we did record this time. Anyway.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. All right.